Sheesh.
Hey, dumping salt everywhere. Oh. How great. Gotta love living in Michigan. I've never seen purple / blue streetlights. So you got your white LEDs, and then we have purple, blue. That's different. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today's a little short video on some front suspension upgrades. So as you've seen in a little intro clips, we just took a 2-hour trip to Portland, Michigan. So I'm about an hour and 45 minutes away from home. I left at like 5 a.m. It's going on like 8 a.m. right now. So I'm waiting on this dude. He said he'll be pulling up in a few minutes. And we're gonna be picking up this CHS raised subframe and R32 control arms and spindles. So I actually paid the dude for the spindles and subframe, and he's actually throwing me in the control arms for free. So shout out to this dude. But yeah, I'm gonna get back with you guys when this dude pulls up, and then we have another hour and 45 minutes back home. Unfortunately, I swear I keep doing so much traveling just to put together this car. So the unfortunate part is all these parts that I keep piling up for this car, I at one time had on the Jetta, and I ended up parting out the Jetta. So it's dumb. Obviously life happens. I wanted to pay off a bunch of stuff, so I literally parted out the entire car not knowing what the future held. And obviously, a year later, I ended up buying another Mk4, and I ended up bagging it and stancing it out. So all these parts that I once owned, I'm literally traveling all over and taking my time out of my day to do all this just to put together this car. It's gonna be worth it in the end though. These are literally the last pieces to the suspension that I need. We're just waiting on this dude. He should be pulling up any minute now. All right, homie just pulled up. Let's get this thing unloaded. What's up, dude?
Well, you know.
Hey, thanks, man.
Everyone's like, where you at? And I'm like, I'm not making it this year, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to make it this year.
Well, since, like I said, my twins were just born a year ago, so I was out the game for about a year.
Yeah,
and then,
I feel you. I started having problems with, because I actually figured out what's wrong with the car. My input shaft is gone.
Teeth gone or the shaft?
The teeth are gone. Yeah. And when that happened, so this wheel bearing needs to be replaced.
Yeah, no, I just got all new hubs and bearings anyways,
So,
because like I said, I got 6-speed.
Yeah, so
it's a different.
It cooked that bearing, fucked up the driver's side axle, and
Why was it putting all power to one wheel or something?
Yep.
The stories, man.
I was like, what the fuck is going on with this car, dude? Like, I built everything right on it, and I was like, I didn't build it for power or anything. It was just reliability, and it was like, get fucked.
And even when you do that, you never win.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm tired of this fucking thing.
They're old cars.
Well, so I told my friend he's got a GLI and he's got over.
All right, man. You have a good trip, dude. It was nice meeting you, man.
Bag secured. Obviously, we got our subframe, wheel bearings, control arms. He even gave me tie rods. So let's hit the road and get back home. It's freaking cold. All right, so here's our piece that we picked up. So obviously you see that is cut and welded. One of CSH or CHS subframes. So it's sectioned 1 inch. So it gives you one extra inch of clearance. Also, we have R32 spindles. We're gonna be putting new wheel bearings, new hubs, and new ABS sensors on them. Probably even gonna clean these things up, paint them black. Also, he threw in an extra pair of control arms and tie rods. I'm not sure if the tie rods are good or not. They look fairly new, but I have new tie rods anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna take this thing to the power wash and get this thing all cleaned up. All right, so we got the car up on jack stands, up in the air. First things first we did was take out the axle bolts, and then axle bolts that connect to the transmission. Next thing we're gonna do, take off the brakes, and then we're gonna drop the spindles on both sides, unscrew the sleeves, and then, also, it's gonna be tough to see, but you need to go inside. So there's a 13mm you gotta undo up there, so when you drop the subframe, the rack is able to come down. Before we get to removing these brakes and spindles, while we're doing that, I'm going to disconnect this power steering line, and we are going to drain all the fluid out. We're on the driver's side. So the last thing we gotta do is undo that power steering line, and then we're able to drop this whole entire subframe. So yeah, let's just get this undone. All right, we're actually gonna go with the other pair of control arms that I have. These are the aftermarket ones, and they have more of like an OEM bushing. My buddy actually told me that the poly bushings actually rip on people's, and these were used anyways. These are the arms that actually came with this subframe. I'm just gonna end up using these. Like I said, they're OEM bushings. We also installed our solid bushings So to remove the old bushings, I literally just took a crowbar and popped them right out. So it was actually very easy. It took me literally 30 seconds or less. And then these obviously sandwiched together as a whole, solid. So that's gonna be pretty straightforward. But yeah, I'm gonna actually bolt these up to the subframe first because this nut and bolt is hard to get to once it's in the car. And then we're actually gonna assemble our tie rod ends too. So we're gonna do everything off the car first, and then we're just gonna jack this up as a whole underneath the car. For all those who are wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing, I haven't really broke it down side by side, but this is a very good comparison next to each other so you can see what I'm doing. This is stock everything. Stock control arms, subframe, you see everything. So this one, we have wishbone style control arms. We have camber adjustment at the end, and if you look, they're lower. They have a lower offset. So all in all, I'm running extensions, and then for tie rods I'm running extensions, and then I'm also going to be running axle spacers as well. Rack is the same, but if you look at that subframe versus this one, it's got 1 inch added to it, to where the subframe is going to be 1 inch off the ground, 1 inch further off the ground. So that gives you more clearance. And then also with the spindles, we said it before, the tie rods go upside down. They go like this, so that means the tie rod is actually going to miss the frame when it's aired out instead of hitting the frame. So yeah, that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. For who is just now tuning in to the build. All right, what's up guys? So it's a new day. Last night it was a late night. I got aggravated, I got mad at this thing, so I just wanted to go to bed. But anyways, today's a new day. I got a fresh mind, fresh head. So I've been at it for roughly an hour, and sadly enough, I had to do some cutting and hammering on the firewalls. Usually you don't have to do any trimming and cutting, but I had to trim this out, which actually I'm gonna have to trim this out a little bit more, but that was holding me up from actually bolting up this side of the frame. So I would press it up against that all the way, and I would still have like a good inch gap where the bolts go. So I'm about to actually jack it up and see if I trimmed enough. Unfortunately, with this section subframe, I had to do all that. For some reason, this is one I bought off somebody. I don't know if it's different from my last section subframe or not, but for some reason, the first 2 times I installed my original section subframe, I never had to do any trimming or hammering or none of that stuff, so this is a new thing for me. Unfortunately, it's an extra step, but we're almost done, and then we're gonna get this thing bolted up to the car. Today was the second day I worked on this thing, and I'm beat. So I didn't record too much because I had to repeat myself doing a few things. I had to actually go back and forth a couple times. So as of right now, we have, all right, so we have one wheel on, about to test fit. But if you look, we have subframe up, control arms, everything's bolted up. Power steering line's bolted up. So this is what we're dealing with, the geometry. So just think, this would be aired all the way up. So the angle on these control arms is like not even on angles. If you look clearance wise, we're good to go. So we literally have nothing hanging low anymore. So honestly, our ride height is about to be insane. Oh, also, I want to throw in there, so I'm running ball joint extensions and the VagCamberKit sleeves. So I'm running both. I was going to put the stock sleeves back on, but I did that and I ran into some issues fitment wise. So this is going to be angled sleeves and ball joint extensions. So we're about to set this up on a tripod, and you're about to see this test fit with me. Ooh. Sheesh. That's what we're talking about now, baby. Dang, boys. That's fire. We're perfect. Literally perfect. I can't even explain to you how perfect this is. Can't even explain to you. So this will almost be like ride height. Sheesh. So that's aired all the way up in the back, and then this ain't even jacked all the way up because the jack keeps turning the wheel. But man, that's perfect. I'm so satisfied right now. No idea.